Let's go ahead and kick this thing off. I think we are live. Shit, are we live? Let me make sure. Damn, did I set the right stream up here? Otherwise, I may have to do it again. Let me see what's going on. What's live over here? What's live? Let me see what's live. Let me check. Make sure. There's always a lot of integrations going on here. And we want to make sure we're live, right stream. And if not, then we have to do it all over again. Let me see, are we live anywhere? Are we live anywhere? It look like kick fill. But we are live on Galt Presents. And I'm going to see if we can get this live on Galt. Let's see. If not, I'll stop it. Try it again. Oh, we live. So this is Galt right here. And let's see. Oh, this is the Urban Landlord, so I'm live on the Urban Landlord. Is that right? Can you guys see that? Am I live here on the Urban Landlord? Urban Landlord, yes, we are live. I don't know why that title is wrong, though. I'm going to change that title really quickly. I'm going to change that title. I don't know why it has that title. Yeah, it's weird. Let me change that title. Cam Newton should not be in the title here. Today we tell of a Tether and an FBA. You know, it's been a topic that's near and dear to my heart. John Galt here, very near and dear to my heart as I see the division, the separation coming into play here. Let me make sure I'm live. Everybody can hear me, see me. Let's see. Where am I? Okay, am I live? No, that's not me. What the fuck is that playing? What is this playing? What's live here? Where is the live? Let's see what's going on. What the fuck is going on here? I know we're live at least on one platform. I mean, in this, and listen, it's always something. The Urban Landlord, okay, manage videos. So am I live here? You see me? Yeah. Okay, I'm live here. Okay, perfect. All right. Yesterday, I was gonna. Let me pour me a drink before shit. All this really gets you distracted sometimes. Give me 1 minute. If you're in the chat, let me know if you can hear me. You can hear me loud and clear. I think we're also on the Galt Presents this morning. Let me see if I have that up. Give me 1 second. Galt Presents. I'll pour me a drink. Alright. Let me see if I can find it on Galt Presents. Let me see if that's there. I'm looking at the thumbnail there. The thumbnail has blacks in government there. I'm not sure if any of you guys have ever heard of blacks in government. It's an organization here in D.C. that I guess the black government workers are big members of membership for black government workers. And let me see if I'm live over here. Just testing out this OBS here. And see if it's live. That'll be pretty slick. Yeah, I don't see it. Not a problem. And I'm not sure what happened. Galt Presents. Okay, I did put it up there. Okay, cool. All right, yesterday I had plans to talk about one thing, and then we got a phone call in, and I said, I gotta at least spend a few minutes on this. It's Black History Month, and you hear me talk all the time about the blacks and the tethers and how one seems to be doing a little bit better than the other. One group seems to be, progressing financially better than the other, I should say. And I'm talking about the tethers there. And so so yesterday we had a tale of two blacks here. The first black, there was a black guy that called in. He was looking for a room. Let me see if I have that up here. I should have that. And then there was another black guy that called in, and he's a current tenant. He doesn't have a lot of money. He doesn't have any money seemingly to pay his rent. So let me see if we can pull those both up here. And I just want you to see the compare and contrast between the two. And then I'll let you be the judge for yourself. Let me go to my videos here. And I want you to hear both of these guys here. So let's take a listen. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a very good one here. This is very good. All right, so here's the first one here. Let me pull it up. I played in Nigerian first. How about that?
Just a single room.
Say what?
Just a single one. Just a single room.
Yeah, what neighborhood? Northeast, northwest, or southeast?
Northwest.
All right, yeah, when you looking to move?
As soon as next.
All right, I'm going to send you an email, a text message. You can take a look at some of the rooms we have. We have a lot of rooms. Just whenever you want to take a look, come out and take a look. I'll show you the rooms.
Oh, okay. That's right.
And where you located right now? You in DC right now?
Yes, I mean, actually, I'm on my job right now, yeah.
Oh, I mean, you're in DC though.
Yes, I am.
Oh, where you from, by the way?
Nigeria.
Oh, Nigeria. A lot of Nigerians here. How long you been here?
10 years.
What brought you to this?
I actually live in Baltimore, but my job is in DC, so it's putting a lot of stress on me. I have to move. Yeah, I have 2 jobs, so it's putting a lot of stress on me.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm the head concierge at an apartment called Camden, a residence at the city center.
Oh, that's a nice area. That's downtown.
So my job is tasking. That's why I'm looking for something around Northwest.
Ain't that what the young boys be looting and shit? Weren't they looting down there the other day?
Exactly.
Exactly. And that was an African man looking for housing, lives in Baltimore, works 2 jobs, right? And I'll contrast that with this guy that he called in yesterday, right after the other guy. He's a current tenant, and I want you to listen to his conversation.
Watch.
Hey, hold on, guys. I don't want you to listen to this shit. Hello?
Hey, how are you?
All right.
Hey, you know what? I never got your name, man. What's your name?
John.
John? Okay, John. John, I have a cast tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Why you don't have it today?
These people, man, I'm so fucking tired of these motherfuckers. I'm so tired of them.
So how you gonna have it tomorrow if you don't have it today?
No, I'm going down to get the cash tomorrow. First thing in the morning.
Why didn't you do that today?
Because they told me they would have it in my name account. People promised me they would have it in my account.
And so you think you're gonna go down there and what, strong arm them in the pen?
No. I'm just gonna go down there and get the paper check and cash it that way.
But how do you know they're gonna have a paper check for you?
I'm assuming they will, because you haven't paid me the other way.
I mean, you've been doing a lot of assuming with these people.
Cash. Hell, high water, I'm getting my money tomorrow.
I mean, are you still working for these people while they're not paying? Come hell or high water, you're gonna get in my. How you gonna do that, young man? I appreciate the thought, but how you gonna just come hell or high water? How you gonna you gonna take it from them?
Yeah, well, they didn't pay me. I didn't work today because they didn't do shit for me today. But I'll have it tomorrow.
Where do you work?
I work for a law firm.
And they not paying you?
Man, let me tell you about law firms. Some motherfuckers are shiesty, and I'm fucking around with a shiesty one.
It's a big one or a little one?
No.
Now, it's 2 things here. Let's go back a bit. Now, you heard the African say, yeah, I work 2 jobs. Shit. Hotel concierge, head concierge, whatever the fuck he is. Head dog. Right? Give me 1 minute. I need to do some validation on the fucking phone again. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, it's me. Yeah, it's me. All right. So you heard the African guy say he works 2 jobs, and then you hear this guy say he ain't even work today.
Some motherfuckers are shiesty, and I'm fucking around with a shiesty one.
It's a big one or a little one?
No, it's a little one.
What? If you don't mind me asking, what's the name of it?
Tucker.
Oh, okay. So he ain't paying. Damn.
But I'm a deal, man, because I ain't trying to be on fucking shit.
Hold on 1 minute. God damn. Let me pull this shit down here so I can see what all's going on here. All right, let me. All right. So what if he don't pay you tomorrow? If you go down there, you be like, hey, what my money? And he be like, I ain't got it. What you gonna do?
I've been talking to a couple of friends that doesn't go through. I'll be able to borrow the money from them. But
Why don't you borrow it now and then pay them back?
Yeah, why don't you come on stream?
I'm trying. I'm really not doing anything. Absolutely. I'm keeping my current situation.
You gonna have to tell them tomorrow if they don't pay you.
No, I ain't talking about Charles. Fuck him. I'm talking my friend. I gotta tell him tomorrow, instead of being homeless, I do that, but I'd rather just tell him tomorrow. Yeah, it'll be that way.
Is this a black dude lawyer or what?
It is black lawyer.
Oh, okay. All right, let me know first thing in the morning, man. What time you going down there?
I'm going down there at 8. Get over at 9. I'm going there. I'm leaving here at 8. I'll be at this place at 9 because I got to catch the metro.
All right, sounds good, man. All right.
All right.
Sometimes, John, they don't want to burn that safety valve. You know, they're saving that safety valve, putting it on John Galt.
I could never be a landlord because I'd have too much heart. I'd be like, well, all right, And you can't be like that if you're a landlord.
He's gonna put it on the bank of John Galt for a day.
You see who he works for.
He's an author too. Says he's an author.
Is that like an underwater basket weaver degree that you're a writer?
Easy now.
I didn't hear him say he's a writer. Yo, what's that? Goddamn. Charles.
Like, I had this one liberal tell me the other day, she goes, well, I got a doctorate. What is your...
And that was the guy from yesterday. You can hear more of that on the Going Trucking clip from yesterday. And, I started the stream off initially.
Okay, so who could it be?
Was going to be...
Who
The topic was going to be Trump and his attacking the government jobs and how I think he's striking at the core of a lot of the black middle class there. And I saw this tweet from Andrew Torba. I think Torba is a guy over at Rumble or something. I can't remember what platform he's over, but I think it's Rumble. And I saw this clip here, and it says 65% of black women with university degrees work for the government. I said, damn, that's an amazing number. In that sense, then without the government, these people, many of them, the women at least, probably wouldn't have any work. And that's just the women. And then we talked about this on the big stream yesterday, and I'm going to share it again here. We can discuss it. Hope you have some comments about it. This is an IRS agent, probationary employee or something of that sort. And apparently he's been laid off, and I want you to just hear it and just give me a thought. Tell me what your thoughts are. It's from TikTok here.
He was one of thousands of federal employees abruptly laid off this week.
He sat down exclusively with Michelle Choi to share how he's feeling and his message to those in power.
Nothing there. Nope. Nothing there.
As he waits for an official termination letter to arrive at his front door, Jason Charles shared the toll the last 48 hours has taken on him.
I can't believe this is happening, and it happened so fast. Like I said, I was just in training. I waited 4 months to go to training, just to be fired.
He's one of 6,000 plus federal employees who work for the Internal Revenue Service fired this week as part of mass layoffs happening under the Trump administration. The majority of those workers, like Charles, were probationary workers employed for less than a year. Charles told us more than 24 employees were laid off from his office here off Gessner. He says it took over a year to get his dream job as a tax-exempt officer dealing with nonprofit organizations and compliance.
I want to serve people.
And despite recent news, he held out hope his job would be spared.
How are you feeling?
Numb, confused, sad, angry, lost.
When did you get the official notice? Or was there an official notice?
We never got official notice. I got word from managers that had to be in the office yesterday, and we waited there all day until maybe 12, 1 o'clock. And then it was kind of like a firing range. They lined us up, took our equipment, and sent us home.
His pride and passion taken away.
Excited. I was so excited.
So excited.
To learn the job. I was telling my manager I was going to be the best. But he count on me. And it's not like I have no say-so. Like they just talk me away. And I thought corporate America was like this, not the government.
I'm just gonna ignore that smoke detector. I'm gonna ignore it for the time being. And what I'm gonna focus on is the, listen to how he talks about the government. I ain't think corporate America. I know corporate America could be cutthroat, but the government, they take care of you.
They just toss you away. And I thought corporate America was like this, not the government. I thought the government takes care of the people.
When asked why he would speak out now,
This is the only way I have a voice. I can't go to Washington and go to the Oval Office. I can't contact my congressman. He's too busy. He doesn't want to hear me. I try to reach out. This is the only way I can get people to hear what happened.
according to a statement sent to KHOU 11, the National Treasury Employees Union president representing the Houston area believes more than 200 people working for the IRS offices in Houston have been fired just this week. These layoffs, of course, happening in the heart of tax season.
Every department has a probationary employee. Every department will be impacted. I don't know how severely, but the people will start seeing the impact soon.
Charles believes there will be a ripple effect.
Do you want your job back?
I would love my job back.
I would love my job
I
back.
would love it back.
Beat. Oh man, the Chevy.
To serve the American people and talk to the people that I've talked to, I would love my job back.
And has this message from the president.
Let us work. Let us do what they employ us to do. When we took our
Nobody's stopping you from work, homeboy. Go get your job anywhere. People are hiring everywhere.
oath to do.
In Houston, Michelle Choi, KHOU 11 News.
And you can hear Michelle's extended interview with Jason streaming right now, KHOU 11 Plus. Be sure to download for free on your...
I don't want to hear no more of that shit. I think we got the point, we got the picture, we got the message there. Anyway, here's another black in government here. He was once appointed by Trump, and he was escorted out of the door by Trump. This is the guy that covered for Lord Austin when Lord Austin was apparently under the medicine, under the doctor's care there, and we didn't have a Secretary of Defense. He was incapacitated, and this guy here ran cover for Lord Austin. So Trump has finally fired this guy after appointing him in his first term. I think Portia pointed that out in our big stream there. So it's very interesting. Another black, so it's been two at the least. And then we have another guy, the one that was on the stream, working for black government, working for a black employee, a black employer rather, and that company likely does big business with the government, and they seemingly are having a hard time paying him. Here's another tweet here. Well, that's not it here. Here's another tweet here. It's something else just along the same lines of these black jobs. And who's this tweeting here? Let's see who this is. so there's another tweet. I think this is from Nina Turner. It takes a little minute for it to load here. Twitter may be a little slow. And I'll pull it up. Yeah. And this is true. When I first moved to D.C., was the sentiment here. It's some lady, she ain't Janae. Growing up in the D.C. area, the elders always encouraged us to get a government job, and seen as a golden ticket to success, it was. It's crazy how much things have changed. Yeah, things have changed. You can't depend on these government jobs anymore, and you probably should have never been able to depend on them. I wonder who is this lady right here? I'm curious to know. She's some type of government worker. Let's see. She doesn't say what she used to do or she does, but apparently she's a government worker or used to be a government worker. But she's talking about this sentiment that used to be very prominent here in the D.C. area. Everyone would pursue a government job, myself included, and I never got one. I was a contractor, but I was never able to get an actual government job. Here's a tweet from Nina Turner, again, highlighting the black dependence on government jobs here. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't even sharing it with you. Let me share this screen with you. And here's Nina Turner right here. And here's a tweet from her. I think she's tweeting a headline from, looks like MSNBC or something. Much of the black middle class was built by federal jobs that may change for the last several decades. Federal jobs help black workers find stable work with guardrails to prevent bias, but mass cuts are threatening decades of upward mobility. And that's from NBC News there, Nina Turner tweeting that. And she went on to tweet some other stuff. The black middle class was built by federal jobs. Now drastic cuts by Trump Musk are threatening the black middle class there. So it's very interesting. There's some subtweets, I guess, to her tweet. The federal bureaucracy has been a DEI-style jobs program for mediocre blacks for decades. Americans no longer wish to fund it, and we need people to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. That's strong talk, strong talk. Blacks should be no more than 13% of the federal workforce. The gravy train is over, so on and so forth. If I had a conversation recently with a high-ranking employee, complained about all his staff were black diversity hires who were essentially useless. And there's only goes the tweets there. So not a lot of sentiment for saving these black jobs. And I think we may end up seeing a lot of people swimming naked, kind of like the black guy we saw there earlier, talking about how he was having a hard time. Well, he's not even looking for another job. He should be looking for another job, by the way, instead of waiting on his firing slip to come in. And I wanted you to take a look at this. Government workers who have some skills and they're able to take advantage of this work from home. And I want you to take a listen here at this lady who really was double dipping, had her hands in both two cookie jars here. Take a listen.
Felicia, thank you. Well, 7 News is learning more about a D.C. official who resigned after she was caught working a second full-time job.
Caroline Leanne worked for the district's Department of Buildings for nearly 2 years. She was hired as a chief operations officer in October and promoted to deputy director a year later.
Now, according to an ethics report from city officials, the entire time she was working full-time for Freddie Mac and making 6 figures. She had a hybrid schedule for both jobs, allowing her to work from home or in the office different days of the week.
Leanne was also elected as a Falls Church City Council member in January 2022. The ethics report found she failed to properly report her part-time income from that position and also did not take leave from her district job while working on council matters. Falls Church just sent us a statement saying, quote, Leanne had not properly reported outside employment, resulting in her resignation from the district. It goes on to say Falls Church City has relayed this information to the Commonwealth's attorney for investigation.
And Leon has agreed to pay a $25,000 fine to the city for violating its code of ethics.
And that was her. She was able to really take advantage. It's probably work from home. It looks like she had 3 fingers in the cookie jar there. And here's some more articles kind of highlighting Trump's shaking up the D.C. workforce here, or the federal workforce, I should say. It's not just D.C. Here's another article here. This is a YouTube video.
I want to zoom in on one important aspect of the cuts to the federal workforce that the Trump administration is beginning to carry out, and that is the jobs themselves and the people who hold them. The federal workforce is the largest employer in the nation, and federal data shows that black Americans who have historically found greater equity in the public sector compared to the private sector will disproportionately bear the brunt of Trump's effort to gut the federal workforce. Black people are more likely to be employed by state or federal government than any other demographic. According to a Center for American Progress analysis of 2022 data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, approximately 1 in 5 black workers are employed in the public sector. That's not just the federal government, that's at all levels of government, and that's not an accident. The history of civil rights and the civil service are actually deeply intertwined. As early as the 1840s, some government agencies began hiring black workers decades before slavery was abolished. The United States Postal Service was one of the earliest places that black people could find work and climb the ranks, and opportunities expanded significantly after the Civil War during Reconstruction. Between 1916 and 1970, some 6 million black Americans left the rural South for the urban North to escape Jim Crow laws and to find greater economic opportunity and stability. Federal jobs were accessible through merit-based civil service exams and somewhat shielded black workers from rampant discrimination. Certainly not entirely, but it was better than the alternative in many cases. Jobs within the federal government have throughout history and today offered relatively good pay, health care, retirement security, job security, and stronger workplace protections compared to the private sector. And all of these factors made the civil service a crucial part of creating and sustaining America's black middle class. Joining me with more on this is Aaron Haynes, editor-at-large at the 19th and host of The Amendment podcast, and Professor Imani Perry, professor of African-American Studies at Harvard University, author of many important books, including her latest, Black in Blues, How a Color Tells the Story of My People. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for being with us. Professor Perry, between 1915 and 1970, about 6 million black people moved out of the rural South to the more urban North.
And I don't want to hear any more of that. I think you get the tenor of what they're expressing here is that that the jobs that they've depended on in the government are now not just a given here. And here's more of the same. Some local reporting on the same thing coming out of D.C. here.
Probably heard of the conservative plan known as Project 2025.
Yes, this guidebook has been published every 4 years since President Ronald Reagan by the right-wing think tank, the Heritage Foundation. Now, we're talking about this tonight because it proposes some sweeping changes to the federal government, a key issue with the upcoming presidential election.
Civil rights groups from the NAACP to the ACLU have spoken out against the proposal, a move they warn will disproportionately affect African Americans.
Investigative reporter Tracy Wilkins explains why it could have an even greater impact on black people and the economy in our region here. Tracy?
Yeah, well, as you both know, the nation's largest population of wealthy black people live in our region, especially in majority black Maryland counties like Prince George's and Charles. Many of our strong middle and upper middle class black families were built around the federal workforce. It's the region's largest employer. So we asked experts on both sides of Project 2025 how dismantling it would impact the black middle class that has heavily relied on it.
2 cups of sugar. When Michigan native Ashaki Robinson moved to Bowie, Maryland, she could hardly believe all of the concentrated black wealth around.
Not just middle class, but like, rich black people.
Like many in her community, Robinson is a federal worker. She's a social science analyst for the Department of Housing and Urban Development. And just speaking as a union representative,
you could be making a lot of money with your doctorate. There are a lot of things that you could be doing. And you're working in the federal government. Why?
Very few people are lucky enough to actually have a job that has meaning. And I'm one of those people that do it, and a lot of people that work for the federal government are.
HUD's mission is to ensure fair, safe, and affordable housing for all Americans. Tucked inside the 900-plus page Project 2025 document, former HUD
very few people are lucky.
Speaking as a union representative,
you could be making a lot of money with your doctorate. There are a lot of things that you could be doing. And you're working in the federal government. Why?
Very few people are lucky enough to actually have a job that has meaning. And I'm one of those people that do it, and a lot of people that work for the federal government are.
HUD's mission is to ensure fair, safe, and affordable housing for all Americans. Tucked inside the 900-plus page Project 2025 document, former HUD Secretary Ben Carson calls for putting political appointees in top positions and scaling back affordable housing. The document also wants former President Trump's Schedule F executive order that was reversed by President Biden to be reinstated. It would strip job protections from career officials.
Somebody asked me to go back over what was her job again? What was her job? She's a union member and HUD employee. HUD employee probably didn't do too much of anything. We're going to talk about HUD in a minute. I used to work right there by HUD when I worked at when I worked at the Postal Service. I'll tell you all about HUD.
Here to fire civil servants and requires loyalty to the president.
People shouldn't have to sell their souls to do a job.
Prior to the adoption of these civil service rules, people were appointed, and when elections changed, they lost their jobs.
Horace Cooper is chairman of Project 21, a program for Black conservatives at the National Center for Public Policy Research. It supports Project 2025. He says bringing back Schedule F will make Trump more effective if elected, even if it means some workers losing jobs.
I watched in the first Trump term, seeing how many government employees announced that they did not agree with the priorities of this administration and stymied them as a consequence.
ProPublica, a nonprofit news agency, was first to expose and publish Project 2025 training videos that explained how the playbook would work, including the replacement of federal workers.
Imagine what would happen if almost all federal employees opposed a certain president.
The Heritage Foundation declined the I-Team's request for an interview, even though many former Trump officials helped craft the plan, and it praises his past administration dozens of times. The former president has distanced himself.
I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it.
That hasn't washed away concerns for unionized federal workers like Alicia Saunders, a mom of 3 who works at the Department of Education. Project 2025 calls for the department
Education, HUD.
to be dismantled.
What's going to happen to my household? What's going to happen to my paycheck? What's going to happen to my career?
Many in Saunders' family also work for the federal government, including her parents and siblings.
I got to go back. I'm sorry. I know people say, play the video, John.
Many in Saunders' family.
I got to look this woman up here. Give me 1 second. Look this name up. Alicia Saunders. Yeah, her whole damn family probably work for the government. And let's see if she lives in D.C. somewhere. I know she don't live in D.C. Hell no. Oh, I think we found her LinkedIn. Damn, if I'm on LinkedIn, I can pull her up here. Let's see what her curriculum vitae. Shit. Let's see what she does. Let's see. Before we get too far in this video, this is Alicia Saunders here. Girl got her MBA, Master's in Business Administration. She went to work for a State Department of Education. Currently serving as a FAT C3 level contracting officer. Blah blah blah. Possesses a background 20 years of federal contracting experience. In all phases of acquisition, blah, 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 blah. Member of BIG. That's the thumbnail, guys. BIG. When I first moved to D.C., I passed by this organization. What the hell is that? Blacks in government. They got an organization. Yeah, she's a volunteer. Breast cancer. And she's been there 4 years. Then she was at GSA for 4 years. And then she was at USDA. For 4 years. And then she was in Southern Command for 10 months. And then she was at HUD for a year. All government. Where else could she work but the government?
Emily also worked for the federal government, including her parents and siblings.
Has this been stressful for you? Very, very. it's constant conversation.
In 2021, the most recent stats from the Federal Office of Personnel Management, it shows that more than 18% of federal workers are Black. That's higher than the country's entire Black population, which is just over 12%. Howard University political science professor Marcus Ward says the high...
What'd they say?
That's higher than the country's entire Black population, which is just over 12%. Howard University political science professor...
That fag had beads on. He had beads on. Look.
which is just over 12%.
Look at them beads. Look at them beads. Yeah, dang Nixon. Yeah, she was an event planner or some shit for the government. I remember her. And she made about $100,000 a year. Well, when is she on the chopping block?
Howard University political science professor Marcus Ward says the high representation of Black federal workers is due to the job protections that have often eluded Black employees in private workplaces.
They have worker protections, federal worker protections that are guaranteed by the federal government. And so it's one of the few places where they can be sure that they're going to be supported, protected, and taken care of.
To some workers, it sounds like this is a direct attack on Black Americans and Black middle class who are affiliated with the federal government. How do you see it?
I think that's an accurate read.
Federal jobs have been a ladder up and a pathway to the middle class, to self-sufficiency and economic progress for Black Americans.
Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts is a member of a Democratic-led task force that held hearings earlier this year challenging Project 2025.
It is their pathway to enact widespread wholesale policy violence.
You're talking about deep budget cuts, hiring freezes. It's just a damning document, and I have every reason to believe that they would make good on it.
How can you count on government employment being around forever?
Cooper was...
Give me 1 second. I want to hear these guys, but yeah, I get making a cup of coffee. Give 1 second.
Senior counsel to former House Majority Leader Dick Armey, and he argues that African Americans can't rely on federal jobs and that more need to shift to the private sector.
Do not rely on government.
Do not.
Why? Because you can't rely on government. Is it a decade? Is it a century? At some point, it's going to be government that you're sitting there relying on that pulls the rug right out from under your feet.
Yet leaving the federal workforce and the security it offers is not a plan some like Robinson even want to consider.
My good government job, my good government job. It is paid for a lot of things.
My good government job paid for a lot of things. But could you do the same in the private sector? I wonder. Some of these people like to prove that with all that money they were making in the government, that they could do it out here in the private sector.
Of the more than 2 million full-time federal workers, more than 300,000 are concentrated here in the D.C. metro region. The thing to remember is that this is a living document that has been written over decades. Regardless of who gets into the White House this time, workers tell us the future stability of federal employment is what's keeping them up at night. So it could impact a lot of folks. The experts we're talking to saying disproportionately so African Americans, specifically those who work for the federal government in our region.
So
I want to zoom in.
I'm sorry?
I was going to ask about it, but there is a movement to fight this.
Yeah, there is a movement to fight it. You also hear that President Trump is distancing himself from it, saying this is a document that I'm affiliated with. It has some good ideas, some bad ideas. But the plan, if you were to ask the Heritage Foundation, is that this is the playbook, that this is what they would like to see the president, the next Republican president, whoever that person may be, whether it's Trump or whoever else after that, stick to.
So the overarching fear is that everything could hinge upon this election?
It could this election, or it could be, the election in the future. And I think that that's the point, is that it's a living document that exists. So folks need to be aware of that, and that depending on who the next president is or the president after that.
And there's enough of that. But you see the black reliance there on the government jobs. And so you're going to see, in my opinion, the rhetoric is heightened up as people lose their job security. You're going to hear people talk like this here.
Who are in that? I feel bad for them coons in the White House who are in there tap dancing for massa, wearing bow ties, shitting and grinding, laughing like nothing is funny. I ain't afraid of the spooks that sat at the door. These runaway slaves hiding in the White House gonna throw my picture up thinking that I'm gonna be afraid. I feel bad for them coons in the White House who are in
And he's talking about the blacks that showed up to see Trump in the White House in there, and you can kind of see their responses to, that was Jamal Bryant again, very outspoken about Trump and what Trump is doing in the White House. And Jamal Bryant used to be here in Baltimore, and someone sent me this tweet, this text, and they said you should start off the show with this. So again, Jamal Bryant used to be here in Baltimore, and he ran from Baltimore. I don't know I forget what his problems was, but let's take a look and see what's going on in Baltimore here. The problems that he left behind. This is Instagram here. And juvenile carjackings plaguing the city of Baltimore.
I don't even know how to express in words how someone could even fathom to do something like that. It's not safe for anybody out there.
Starting in Federal Hill about 3 weeks ago.
All right, Sector 3, carjacking, 141 West Montgomery.
BPD saying a 12 and 15-year-old arrested after attempting to steal one car and successfully carjacking another.
One of the suspects was armed with a thin, small knife. They tried to take a Ford Fusion. They had 2 separate carjackings on their hands.
Officers taking the pair to DJS and requesting they be detained. BPD citing the 15-year-old's 6 prior arrests, including a handgun violation, assault, and another stolen car. Instead, DJS releasing both on ankle monitors.
You release these kids and the parents don't do anything, and so it just gives them the incentive to go out and do it again.
Taking off across the city, a series of carjackings carried out by juveniles, shaking residents' sense of safety.
I don't even know how to express in words how someone could even fathom to do something like that. It's not safe for anybody out there.
Starting in Federal Hill about 3 weeks ago.
All right, Sector 3, carjacking, 141 West Montgomery.
BPD saying a 12 and
15-year-old. And on and it goes, man. I mean, Baltimore is really facing the wrath here. And I'll probably stay in Baltimore for a minute. And here's another message. I get all these messages from people, and they say, hey, will you highlight this on the show? Will you highlight this on the show? And, I try to do as many as I can. Let's see. Here's another one that, might interest you. Again, coming out of Baltimore. I think this is Baltimore here. Again, 2 stolen vehicles in less than 13 hours, net arrest of 5 juveniles, and the 5 juveniles are, survey says, do they show? Yeesh. Look at that little boy right there. He must be like 9 years old. He must be fucking like 9 years old here. And how old? Oh, this is this Baltimore? This is Florida. Shit, who sent me this? But this is some kids in Florida, stolen cars. And you can see these kids, they're very young. And someone says, sweet babies. They need guidance. They don't need to hang together. Hell, better they hang together and catch them all at one time than have them spread out all over the place. Honor roll students, they had a very bright future. So, Dane Nixon said he saw these. Hell, maybe you sent this to me. And but back to Baltimore. because I get so much coming out of Baltimore, the people that send me messages. And here's another one out of Baltimore here. Well, better yet, I want to focus on one coming out of D.C. This is very interesting. A while back, I talked about a young girl that they beat up a disabled man. Does anyone remember that story? The young girl that beat up the disabled man, I think he was cerebral palsy. They may have killed him. I think they killed the man. Very disabled. And you see the headline here? DC girl 12 accused of killing disabled man ends up shot in her own home. Poetic justice doesn't feel right when the recipient is only a child, a 12-year-old child. In an ironic twist that some would describe that way, a preteen girl facing murder charges in the killing of a 64-year-old disabled man found herself on the receiving end of violence when she was shot in Washington, just 4 blocks from the scene of her alleged crime. What was the surroundings of it? The man didn't bother anyone. Why was she shot though? I don't know if the article gets into that, but I covered this little girl here. Let's see. So the girl, damn, she lives in Northwest. She was inside an apartment in the 500 block of Peabody Street. According to the news, she going to come through. She going to come through a relative. So we gotta hear this shit. Where this got to be on video. This has to be on video. Let me see. Is there any video of this? Is there any video of this? There's got to be some video. Man, this shit is slow and loading. Anyway, so the 12-year-old girl that killed the disabled man. This was the disabled man right here. I think he was missing fingers and everything. So this is the guy. So he eventually, she ended up getting shot. 12-year-old murder suspect injured in separate shooting. Let's see if there's any video of this. Family speaks out. No, we don't want to hear it. Them speak out. So there it is. The 12-year-old girl shot there. Now this is interesting. This may be a hate crime, again, coming out of D.C. Anyone that's ever been to D.C., you know Union Station is the big travel hub. If you're riding the trains up and down the East Coast or whatever coming into D.C. 4 children, teens arrested for attacking a woman at Union Station. And I think they're thinking about charging these children with a hate crime. Let's see what the article says. 4 children, all and teens, all girls, between 11 and 14-year-old, were under arrest on Friday after a woman was attacked in Union Station. A 12 and 14-year-old were arrested by the MPD on Friday, booking the girls with a dangerous weapon, conspiracy to riot, simple assault, and disorderly conduct. It's somewhere I was reading that this may be a hate crime, though. Also on Friday, the 4 girls had a hate crime enhancement added onto their existing charges. An MPD report described the Union Station attack as an anti-Hispanic. Oh, shit. You know who I gotta make a phone call right here, right now. You know who I gotta call. I gotta call my man Brave. See if Brave's up. I wanna know what he would think about this. What the fuck? Hope Brave's up. I want to ask him about this. But anyway, here, Brave may not be available. Anyway, a hate crime enhancement. Now, this is the second time we've seen this here in D.C. We're going to have to come back and cover this again. I did not know the girls were Latinos. Latino for Trump, I see you in the audience here. What are your thoughts on this here? On Friday, MPD added a hate crime enhancement to their existing charges, described the attack as anti-Hispanic or Latino and anti-multiple races. Whoa. That's a big deal there. That's a really big deal. You putting hate crimes on little children. Very interesting indeed. The Texas investigation revealed the suspects potentially being motivated by hate or bias. When people tried to intervene in the attack, police said the suspects assaulted them too, although an MPD spokesperson added that none of the victims were seriously injured. A hate crime on children. That's very amazing. That's very, very, very amazing that we have a hate crime here on children. Let's see what the video says. Maybe the parents or something spoke out here. Hopefully it's not a rehash. Ah, that's amazing.
Down to a story that's all new at 11, and I do have to warn you, it is disturbing. DC police say they've arrested an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old for punching and kicking a woman outside of Union Station. Investigators say they tracked down the girls after they filmed the attack and someone posted the video online. Police Chief Pamela Smith put out a statement tonight saying in part, quote, "The actions of these young suspects are disturbing and deeply disheartening. Harming our community like this will result in your arrest and prosecution, no matter your age."
He was my baby.
What did she say? She said, he was my baby. Is that it? He was my baby, she said, and they cut it off. Anyway, that is interesting. Hate crime charges being put on children here coming out of Washington, D.C. So that shall be very interesting. Again, and the mayor has responded back to some of this, and we'll see if we can put this on the screen here. The mayor has had a pretty easy go. Not a lot of criticism of her regarding the crime in the city because the economy has been pretty well. So let's take a look at what the mayor is saying about these crimes. And the Union Station attack prompted Bowser's call to reduce diversion programs. This is very interesting. This attack, there have been multiple attacks on white women, robberies of white women. There was no change in the law. But this attack on these Hispanics, where they've had to add a hate crime charge to the children, has now made the mayor say, well, we may need to reduce these diversionary programs. It's very interesting that the Hispanics are forcing the mayor to respond to the black violence and crime by being a little bit tougher on the crime. So it's going to be interesting to see how she threads this needle here.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DC police are investigating 2 recent incidents involving juveniles. A brazen robbery on a metro train caught on camera, by the way, and a brutal attack outside Union Station. Our Tom Rousey breaks down the investigations and asks the mayor what needs to be done to keep kids from committing these crimes. That's a teen snatching an expensive Canada Goose jacket.
As 7 News first reported Thursday night, on Wednesday, Metro Transit police say multiple juvenile suspects were involved in a robbery of a pricey Canada Goose jacket from a man riding Metro Rail in D.C. Metro says it happened just after 6 p.m. on a Green Line train traveling between Congress Heights and Anacostia. 2 teens believed to be involved were later arrested in Maryland for other alleged crimes. 3 days earlier on Sunday, a police report indicates 9 suspects attacked a victim near the post office across from Union Station. Then police say they assaulted others who tried to help. One suspect recorded the assault on camera. Another pushed victims to the ground and punched them. while yet another kicked one victim and dragged them by their hair. Per a DC police report, the victims do not have a home. Arrested so far, a 13-year-old girl and an 11-year-old girl. At the National Press Club Friday, 7 News asked DC Mayor Muriel Bowser about the juvenile crimes. She called for more secure detention of teens.
We have a good arrest, we make a good case, they have to be charged and put in the system. And I've said repeatedly, that doesn't mean a diversion, that doesn't mean an unaccountable supervision program.
By diversion, the mayor is referring to a program in which kids are supposed to get help without prosecution and detention. She says it happens too often. Is that a court problem? Is that an attorney general problem?
It's both.
But the D.C. Attorney General's office says it only used diversion in a little over 8% of cases last year and never used it for serious violent crimes. A source close to the juvenile justice system says the city's Department of Youth Rehabilitation Services sometimes decides to release offenders from secure detention before their sentence is done, sending them either to home detention or a group home.
Source telling us sometimes the juveniles use the lesser monitoring in those situations to again commit crimes. Now, we reached out to the Department of Youth Rehabilitation Services for a response to that. I talked to a spokesperson. She says she's working on a response. She probably couldn't get it to us today. She says probably on Monday she'll be able to give a response to that assertion. Reporting live, not far from Union Station, I'm Tom Rousey, 7 News.
All right, Tom, thank you. And last weekend's brutal attacks come just weeks after the last of 5 teenagers was sentenced in the deadly beating of Reggie Brown. All of the girls convicted in the attack are minors. They claim that they attacked Brown because they were bored and looking to fight someone. They have been sentenced to stay in juvenile detention ranging from when they're 18 to 21 years old. We have seen efforts in recent years to decrease juvenile crime in the district. Council passed a secured D.C. bill that makes it more likely that young offenders will be detained before trial if they are accused of a violent crime. Council also enacted the Road Act earlier this month without the mayor's signature. That's more focused on keeping kids from getting into more trouble if they've already committed a crime.
A couple things. Radio 4 man, what's up, man? I was checking your stream the other day. I popped in on you. I'm doing this on OBS, man, so we're only doing call-in. I think I put the call-in in the chat. I'll put it in the chat again. Give me 1 second. And Allied, man, I ain't got no reason to lie. The guy said, hell yeah, they've been looting. He also said that there were a lot of cop cars there. And I'm going to pull up. It didn't even take me 1 second to pull this up. Allied, and I want to share it with you. Give me 1 second here. Before I go into this video of what's going on here in, right outside of DC in Virginia, this is where the African guy works. Remember, he said he worked at City Center. And he said the police are there all the time. He said about 3 months ago there was a looting. And 3 months ago puts us back by, September, December, you know. And this is one of the more recent lootings. You can just see loot, Louis Vuitton, and this is where the guy works, right? The Tether. They called in the African 2 jobs. High-end
Houses were burglarized and destroyed. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Simone D'Alba. City Center, Logan Circle, Georgetown, Columbia Heights, and H Street were all targeted. Our Leslie Moreno joins us live from City Center with new
City Center, that's where the African work.
Information on this investigation. Leslie, bring us up to speed here. Do we know why this all happened?
Well, Samaguchi was one of the stores that was damaged last night. You can see over my shoulder here that increase in security and officers, as you mentioned. DC police tell us that.
And that's what the man talked about last night. He said there's a lot of cops. A lot of cops down there. Ain't got no reason to lie. And you can see that was in September. And then shit, a little bit, damn near over a year ago. No, that's 4 years ago. That's Georgetown. And yeah, they looted down there several times. And this is just what the news is showing here. A month ago, security's been heightened due to protests. And this is where the man worked, the African guy. All right, that's where he worked. All right, so back to the video. just to give you substantiation here. Here's what's going on in high rent district of DC DMV area. Can you take a look?
Take care of y'all own kids, because y'all kids are not being sent home. They're going to shut that school down and make y'all take care of y'all. These little niggas done got the whole school shut down because them kids was up there beating up people. They had about 4 fights. In one day, they had 4 fights. Knocked out the security officer. She laid up on the floor. And Lord, tell me why this school is predominantly black. Them little black niggerlets. Y'all finna be taking care of y'all own kids because y'all kids are not being sent home. They're going to shut that school down and make y'all take care of y'all own little badass little high school kids. 2 students was charged with assault and battery. And how they assaulted and buried that whole little security worker who they had on the ground. Knocked the hell out.
She knocked the fuck out. She got knocked the fuck out.
This school is bad. Your kids go to
the school is bad.
School, I suggest you pull their ass out and go put their ass in another damn school, another goddamn district. Because them kids over there is bad. Them teachers said them kids is bad as hell. They be sitting in the hallways, standing in the hallways. They don't go to class. While class going on, they done skip school in the hallways. You tell them to go to school and they shoot them teachers' birds. Tell them get out their face. They don't listen.
Within this school community are not new. In May of 2022, an 18-year-old ACHS student was stabbed to death during a fight at a nearby shopping center. Months later, police arrested 3 students after a brawl on campus. And in March of last year, a 15-year-old was arrested for stabbing another student in the face.
I know you heard that, in the face.
I know you heard that, in the face. And, you know, I could go a million different directions here. Here's what I did want to focus on here. You know, Stanley, you know, on the big panel, we talk about parenting quite a bit. And here's something about parenting that I wanted to point out here. Where is it? And here's the article about parenting. Where is it? I have this article. And here's the article here. When people talk about parenting, you know, I think you know, there are a lot of things that people don't see. That, you know, the blind spots here. And let me pull it up here. Where is that? Damn, did I lose it? Damn, I lost it that quick. Here's just one example here. Take a look at this. This is a woman in the car with her child, and you just listen to the child. And sometimes you don't even know if this shit is a skit or not, because it hits so close to home, you don't know if it's real or not. And you take a look, and you be the judge here. Either way it goes, to put this shit online is just really amazing.
I feed you, I cook, I do all that stuff. And all I did, I asked you for your birthday money so that I can pay the light bill. You don't want to give me the birthday money. So I am taking the PS5 back so I can get the money so the bill can be paid.
Well, how you gonna ask for my birthday money that I got on my birthday to pay the light bill? And why you trying to take my PS5 away?
Well, you can't play the PS5 anyway if it ain't gonna be no damn lights and I was out. First of all, I'm an adult. Stay out my business. When I come to you as a mother and I'm telling you there's an issue where I need help, you help.
Out so much. I'm tired of going out. You need to spend time with us and you need to spend money on your bills.
Leilani, I'm not even talking to you. So you stay in the child's place.
You said stay in the child's place, but you asking my brother to pay your bills. And you like say you need to start spending money on us and stop going spending money on yourself and your little boyfriend.
Boy,
and you know, in this case, it's like the parent is, you know, being checked by the child, and you can't say the child is wrong there. The parent probably should pay more attention to the necessities of life instead of going out and whatever the child says you're doing, spending money on unnecessary bullshit. Here's something else coming out of Baltimore. I hope Ryan's in the audience. Maybe he's familiar with this You may have heard about this. And I'm looking for another article here. I really want to share with you guys. I may have it in my Twitter. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to look for that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to play this video. I'm out of Baltimore here. Jeez, maybe it takes a long time for these things to load. Here it is. Loading. Sooner or later. All right.
Really weird noises.
If your check engine light comes on tomorrow, the repair could easily cost thousands.
Is that transmission?
But with Endurance, you could never pay out of pocket for a costly repair again.
They covered a $14,000 engine replacement.
$1,400. Endurance paid it. Who's going to pay for your next car repair? You or Endurance?
Call right now to get $300 off any plan. Call now.
Baltimore City continues to see homicide numbers lagging behind last year's pace. The city leaders say focus on preventing gun violence is working, but a string of apparently separate shootings has shattered the peace across the city this Sunday. City police say officers on patrol in South Baltimore were on patrol and overheard gunshots around 5:30 this afternoon and found a man shot several times, pronounced dead at the scene. Another man also shot several times was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. And police say they are looking for whoever shot a man to death in the Greektown area. Police say they were called to Eastern Avenue near South Janney Street a little after 6 p.m. and found that victim shot several times. He was pronounced dead at the scene. And police are investigating a deadly shooting in West Baltimore just about 24 hours ago. Police say they were called around midnight to the 600 block of Poplar Grove Street. That is where they found a man shot in the head. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Anyone with information is urged to contact police. And
there's three, I know Daniel Nixon's in the audience. Let me see. Here's something I want to run past you, Daniel Nixon.
Don't be passive aggressive.
This is bad, right?
Switch.
I want to run something past Daniel Nixon here, since I know you're in the audience. I don't know if this is a video. I'm going to put the link in the audience. Well, maybe I'll play a little snippet of it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to play a snippet of it. And then I'll put the link in the chat just for you, Daniel Nixon. Just for you, Daniel Nixon. You've probably already seen this stuff. And this is coming from Twitter here. And this is Vincent James. I'm not sure if any of you guys ever heard of Vincent James. I see him on Twitter a lot. And here's just a little bit of Vincent James.
Fox News cover. You're not going to see CNN cover or MSNBC cover, at least not the way that we're going to talk about it today. You're going to see them probably water it down, play it off as something that it wasn't. But this is very important to cover here. We're going to talk about this. This is from the Daily Mail. Wild riot breaks out in New York City synagogue over secret tunnel. A secret tunnel was constructed. Orthodox Jews are dragged away in cuffs after trying to block construction crew from filling in their illicit passageway. And as you can see from the video's thumbnail here, there were Jews that were crawling out of the sewers in New York City. They were crawling out of the sewers, attempting to evade police arrest, like something out of, I don't know what, Ninja Turtles or something. Coming out of their sewer lair, their illicit, illegal sewer lair that they've constructed in an attempt to evade police arrest here. So we're going to talk about this today. Now, there is something very important here because apparently the appeal was to link a ritual bath, or what's also known as a mikvah. Now, the reason why this is extremely important is because there's another article from 2013 from Vice News that I want to link this to. It's related, and I want to talk about this. And it's about one of the most holy mikvahs in Israel, in Jerusalem. So we're going to come back to that. I also want to talk about the Finders Group. So, we did a whole segment about the Finders Group up on a Rumble channel. Make sure to subscribe over there. Daily Veracity with Vincent James on Rumble. And this group was a satanic cult, basically. Now, the FBI actually dumped a bunch of documents, a bunch of information on their official Twitter account back in 2019, right after, coincidentally, the alleged suicide of Jeffrey Epstein. This document dump occurred on Twitter. And if you look into the documents that the FBI released about the Finders Group, it talks about how they were connected to the CIA. It talks about tunnels underground in Washington, D.C., and under preschools potentially in California and under New Jersey. And it was about this group that, when the police investigated, there were pictures of children. We have this old Washington Post article from 1987 archived here. Pictures of children performing satanic rituals themselves, naked children, child pornography, children involved in what they call bloodletting ceremonies of animals, and a picture of a child in chains. And so there's also this other video of FBI, the head of the FBI of Los Angeles, Ted Gunderson, who talks about these tunnels under McMartin Preschool. And so we're gonna get to this because the documents and information on tunnels, underground tunnels used for illicit activities go back a long ways. And I think that this is related, this is relevant. We're going to talk about this today. I'm not saying that these tunnels in New York City were used for illicit activities, but it's related. We're going to touch on this. Before we get to any of that, though, I just want to thank this video sponsor. This video has been kindly sponsored by Galt.
And so he kind of gave you a snippet of what he's going to be talking about there. Did I put the link in the chat? Let me put the link in the chat if you're interested. This is Vincent James, a lot about the small hats there. So if you're interested in hearing more of that, feel free to go there. I think I put the link in the chat. If not, I will. Give me 1 second. I'll put the link in the chat. Anyway, one more subject I wanted to cover here before I get out of here. Let me put that in the chat. Give me 1 second. Did I lose my tab? 1 second. I put that in the chat. But anyway, he goes pretty hard at the
Watch.
Hey, hold on, I don't want you to listen to this shit. He goes pretty hard at the whole Jewish thing, so you might find what he says pretty interesting. And so the last thing is, I don't want to cover that one. It was something I wanted to get in touch with Be Brave about, but here's one that I wanted to talk about. A buddy of mine posted this on Facebook, and it's Black History Month, and I'll see if I can. I clip what he shared because I found it very interesting. But I'll walk you through it. He's talking about supporting black businesses, all that kind of thing. And so, you saw that post? Okay, so no need for me to put it in the link. So I saw a buddy of mine. He posted something about Black history or black, celebrating black businesses. And in the post, and this was about a 6-year ago post, I just happened to look at it, and he mentioned he just now realized something about how it's important to do businesses in your neighborhood. And I'm like, damn, dude, you're 40-something years old. You're just now realizing this. And here's the post that he mentioned to me, and he says, so he said, here's some black businesses you guys should support, and just two bars. 2 bars is all he knew. It's a lot of education, and, a lot of government jobs, but just not a lot of business in the private sector there. And here's a guy that wants to support black businesses here, and these are the 2 that he could find the space to mention it. So anyway, I thought that was very interesting on his behalf. Once again, guys, thank you for joining. I hope you support the channel. This is John Galt, Me in the Morning. You know what? We need to call that guy, right? We do need to call him. Let's see what he's talking about here. He said, do I take credit cards? Let's see what he's talking about here.
Hello?
Yeah, hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I got your message. You said you need a credit card or something? You need to pay by credit card?
Yeah, I got a friend who can let me only get a few bucks, and he wanted to know if he can pay my credit card.
All right, yeah, I'll send you the payment method. Give me like 5 minutes, I'll send it to you.
Okay, and I sent 100 already, and I'm gonna send the rest probably throughout the day. I'm about to go down here now and get my goddamn paycheck.
Hey, what did they say, man?
I'm heading there now.
Oh, you think they're gonna have your check for you? Did you call them and tell them you're on the way or what?
Yeah, they know I'm coming.
And so what did they say when that just sound crazy as hell. Are you still working there?
I'm a 1099 contractor with them, so that's part of the issue. I'm not officially on the payroll.
But I mean, are they still gonna have you working there after having a hard time paying you?
They ain't got my cash today. I'm not gonna keep giving them free labor, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'll let you know here in the next couple hours once I get down there and I get everything squared away.
All right, I've seen that. I've seen the method to send payment as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, man. Anyway, at least he seemingly has a friend that will let him use a credit card there, so it's not nothing. It's worth something in this world here. Anyway, I thought it's been interesting stream so far today. Guys, I think we'll be live over on the big stream at some point today. We have 17 people in the audience. I'll give you a few minutes. I'm going to look through the chat in case you guys anyone wants to call in. You feel free. You can chat with me one-on-one. Seemingly has a friend that will let him use a credit card. Mute that. Let me look through the chat here, see what people are talking about, and see what we have here. What's taking the chat so long to load? Daniel Nixon, okay, you saw that post. Is that a prison or a school? It's turning into a prison. Like damn, gladiator school. Yeah, radio foreman. No link. Hey, so Allied Computer, there was looting. Again, I showed you the looting. He didn't mention the looting until I did. That's correct. I had to pull it out of him so that you guys would kind of get some context of where he worked. That's the reason why I asked him. I didn't say that there was looting. There was looting. Do you deny now that there was looting? He admitted it. I pulled up the news articles to show it. And there's been multiple instances of that. So, did I hear about the lady in New York that used to take care of the elderly in Florida and she stole all their savings? That happens all the time. All the time. I saw these mugshots. Yeah. Roz girl, if she's in the chat, she probably remembers that lady too. That lady had the lady that was making like $100,000 working for the government, the overpaid job, yeah. How can you forget her? I tell you, I once worked with a Chinese lady at the World Bank. She was getting her master's in event planning from George Washington. It's like a $50,000, $70,000 degree, master's degree, and she probably was some kind of CIA operative or maybe a Chinese spy, because who would go and pay that much for George Washington event planning degree? But it happens, I guess. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining. I was hoping someone, maybe even a potential tenant, would call in, but we got nothing. Let's see. We got nothing today. We got nothing. Let me see. Did anyone send me their number? I know someone sent me their number to call them. Okay, yeah. Let me call this person. News. Someone. Going in the room. One more person, one more phone call, we get out of here. Call this number here.
Hello.
Hi, yeah, good morning. I got your message about the room on Facebook.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm pretty good, thank you for asking. Yes, so I just, you guys had something available.
Yep.
If you want to tell me more about it, I'm not too sure if everything was included.
Everything's included. Everything's included, yep. Everything's included.
Okay, and what are your requirements?
Money. To be quite honest with you, money. Yeah. We're pretty flexible. You can book weekly, monthly, daily. It's really up to you. Everything's furnished. Everything's supplied. You just come in and make yourself home.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm looking to either maybe March 1st or the end of March, depending on if I can find everything where I'm at. But I'm definitely looking to move in March. No question about it.
Okay. What neighborhood you looking for? What neighborhood are you looking for? Northwest?
Me?
Yeah, you looking for Northwest?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we have several rooms, and we have a room with a private bath in Northwest as well. Yeah.
Okay, that would be good. Is that the one that I replied to, or is that the one
We have so many, so I'm not sure which one you replied to, but we have one coming up in March with a private bath and kitchen in Northwest. Yeah.
You said a private bath and kitchen?
Yep.
Oh yes, if you could send me that one, that'll be great. That sounds great.
Yeah. Otherwise, all we have is private rooms. Where are you currently living?
I stay in Edinburgh.
Oh, you out in Maryland. Okay. And you want to move into the city?
But it was, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just looking for something comfortable, private. So if things go to work, I do retail management full time. So
Who do you do retail management for? Who do you do retail management for?
I work at Puma National Harbor.
You said Puma?
National Harbor.
I heard they just put a curfew out there.
Yes, that is actually at the harbor. But I work at Tanger, so it's like across.
Oh, you work at Tanger. Yeah.
That was like over the summer, but they needed to. I'm glad they did that. They needed to put something in place because the kids were running out crazy.
Well, do they come over to Tanger or they just be running wild at the harbor?
No, they're just at the harbor mostly. There's really not nothing for them to do at Tanger, but at the harbor, I guess it was a little bit more. I don't know what was over there for them to do, but apparently it was an issue with that.
And how long you been working out there at Puma?
About 2.5 years, maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been there for a minute. Okay. Yeah, we have. That's a long commute from National Harbor all the way to Northwest. We got some places in the Southeast. It'd be a skip, hop, and a jump. National Harbor.
Yeah, no, either way, it doesn't bother me. All I'm looking for, it doesn't matter. I've commuted way longer than that before I moved on that side. I actually used to live in Baltimore, so I would catch the MARC train in. So the commute wouldn't really be an issue. Again, to me, it's about being comfortable. It's about a peace of mind. That's all I'm looking for, to go to work and have somewhere to be okay when I come home and not,
You don't want to be in Southeast. It sound like you don't want to be in Southeast.
No, it's fine. I mean, either or.
Southeast is cheaper and it's closer to. Southeast is closer.
Say it again.
Southeast is cheaper and it's real close to your job. It's real close to your job. We have some places like right off Martin Luther King, quiet neighborhood. Hell, I think it's a bus to take you right to Harbor from Anacostia. You go down to Anacostia and catch a bus. And maybe. Yeah, so it's up to you, but we have a basement coming available in right off of Martin Luther King. Yeah.
Okay, guess I'm open. I don't know if you can send it to this number or if you would prefer me to go back and take a look through Facebook.
Yeah, I send it to this number right here.
Fine.
Yeah, I send it to this number right here. I send you a few of the listeners we have. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. What's your name again? I'm sorry.
John.
John?
Yeah. It's Mark on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Marisa.
Okay, yep, got you.
Yes, Marisa. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyway, she didn't want to live in Southeast. Anyway, guys, hope you join us on the big stream. HB may be going live. Not sure. I'll check in with him, see if he depending on weather and how he's feeling there. Once again, thank you all for joining me, John Galt. Make sure you support the channel there. We try to keep it live for you most days.